The sole means individual. The sole proprietorship is nothing but it is a business owned and run by only one person. Means he can take decisions on his own. He is not in a position to depending on any other person, right. So, he is going to make the structure of the business. He is only the boss for his own business. He is an independent person. Means the sole proprietorship is a business which owned by a single person. Having said that, let me also bring one more thing into your kind notice that this structure is setup is very simple. In the sense, the setup, the establishment of the sole proprietorship is a very simple and easy to set up the business, right. But also it comes with its own set of challenges. The goals can be predetermined and by his own. So, having stated this, let me also bring some of the advantages of the sole proprietorship. In the sense, what are the merits? What are the merits and what are the pros of sole proprietorship? The first and foremost thing I would like to emphasize on simplicity. The sole proprietorship, normally it is easy to establish, requiring minimal paperwork, and legal formalities are also minimum. Unlike company, the establishment of the sole proprietorship is a very easy. If you go to the company needs so many documents, so many legal formalities, so much documentation is needed, like memorandum of association, articles of association, prospectus. Many documents are needed to establish a company, whereas sole proprietorship can easily establish. It can require minimum paperwork and legal formalities of this business are also very low. The second point I would like to focus on controlling. What do you mean by the controlling? Controlling, people think that it is a control. No. First we need to set the standards, then we can go for the actuals, then we can identify the deviation between the standards and actuals, make corrective steps. Whereas in the sole proprietorship, the control means the complete control of all business operations and activities will be done by the owner. The owner here is a single person, right. The foremost thing I would like to share with you that the decision making. What do you mean by the decision making? The decision making is nothing but choosing one best alternative from various other best alternatives is known as the decision making. See, sole proprietorship can take decisions on his own, is not depending on any other person for that matter. In fact, this is the main advantage and significant factor for any sole proprietorship business. Having said that, let me also bring some other points into your notice, that flexibility. Flexibility in the sense, it is not a static in nature, it is not having any rigidity. Flexibility in the sense, sole proprietorship can offer excellent working hours. In the flexibility means he can do work at any time. There is a flexible working hours and ability to adapt to the changing market conditions. The market conditions are very volatile nowadays. Today the business is flourish, tomorrow the business is going to get the losses, right. What is the main advantage of the sole proprietorship means the proprietor, the owner, the independent person can take the decisions on his own. In addition to that, he can adapt to the changing market condition. Apart from all these things, I would also like to focus on one more advantage is tax advantages. Normally, the business income is also the income of a person because he is a sole proprietor, he is the owner of the company. What is the business income he is going to earn? He can include in his income tax return. See, this is a potentially leading to the lower tax liabilities. Normally, if you go to the company income is going to get it, someone is going to get it, again he has to pay the tax there, again it will be the double tax. Whereas sole proprietorship, the tax advantages he is going to get it. Means, whatever the income he is earning, the income is earning, he can show it in his personal income tax return, right. Having said that, the another point I would like to emphasize here is the disadvantage of the sole proprietorship. See, there are so many advantages, whereas the disadvantages are also mapping up into the sole proprietorship. The main disadvantage of the sole proprietorship is a unlimited liability. What exactly the meaning of the unlimited liability? The liability is not limited, means the sole proprietorship is not issuing shares to the public because he is an independent person, he is a owner of the business. The unlimited liability means whenever the person, the owner, the business person is going to fall in debt trap, means whenever the liabilities are more than the assets and he is falling so many debts, the owner's personal assets will be at risk. Means if he is following so many debts, the personal assets of the owner, the personal assets of the business person will also be attached to payment for the liabilities. This is the major and key disadvantage of the sole proprietorship. So that is why most of the people are not in a position to start the sole proprietorship, because the main disadvantage is the unlimited liability. Whenever the person is falling in the debts, the personal assets will be at risk and the business incur debts and and sometimes the individual person is going to face the lawsuit, face legal matters in this aspect. Having said that, the another and other disadvantage and demerits of this sole proprietorship is a limited resources. Normally, company issues shares to the public. Whenever the company issues shares to the public, means the public may subscribe the shares, and whatever the amount and capital is needed for the company, company get capital through raising the shares and other things they will follow. Whereas sole proprietorship is having the limited resources, means sole proprietorship or often means is having limited access to the raising of the funds. For example, he can approach to the bank, can get some amount. He can approach to the friends and can get some amount. So, the potentially the main restricting factor for the sole proprietorship is the sole proprietor is having the limited resources. So, the main problem for the limited resources is whenever the sole proprietor wants to expand his own business to other areas, it is very difficult because the lack of funds. The limited resource, the main capital is needed. The capital is the key requirement for starting any type of business. For that matter, the fact of the matter is the limited resources are major hindering factor, obstacle for this sole proprietorship. The another concern I would like to emphasize here is lack of continuity. Means sole proprietor today they are going to start one business, tomorrow they are going to end up their own business because lack of continuity. Whereas if it is compared to the company is having perpetual succession. In the sense, it is a permanent in nature. Men may come and men may go. The company goes on forever. Whereas in sole proprietorship, the business will dissolve. If the sole proprietor is going to incur so many debts, it will be automatically dissolved. See, upon the and some other factor I would like to share with you, that if the owner is going to die, obviously sole proprietor will be dissolved, or he is going to take retirement, he can't do the business, it will be resolved. And these are the main challenges for the sole proprietorship, and even for succession planning, who is going to take the responsibility of the sole proprietor now, it is also having the some other risk are involved in the sole proprietorship. These are the some of the demerits for the sole proprietorship. Having said that, let me also adding one more thing in that, what is the establishing of sole proprietorship, how to establish, right? In this, first registration is a mandatory for sole proprietorship. Any business, any form of the business for that matter, the registration is mandatory. Where he has to register with appropriate authorities for the specific industry. If he is going to start pharmacy, he is going to take from the medical department and health department and take the registration from there. Often at the state level or local level, depends on the organization, depends on the form of the industry they are going to establish. And one more thing I would like to have had over here is obtain licenses and permits. Having the registration, then he is going to obtain licenses and permits, means secure any licenses, permits or certification required for the specific industry and location. If he is going to establish in metropolitan city, he is going to take some other what you call licenses and permits from different authorities, and different formalities they have to follow. Then establish business account. What is the main purpose of the establishing business accounts is he is going to maintain separate bank account, separate set of the records he is going to maintain for business transactions to ensure clear cut financial records. Means whatever the profit is going to get, it he has to mention in the profit and loss account. What are the assets the person is having, he has to mention in the balance sheet. What are the liabilities they are facing, he has to mention in the liabilities. So balance sheet, in the sense he has to maintain proper financial records for that matter. So for that purpose he is going to establish business accounts. What are the taxes and regulations for a sole proprietorship? If it is an income tax, business income is reported on the owner's personal income tax return, whereas it is self-employment tax, owners pay social security and Medicare taxes on their net business income. Then coming back to the sales tax, if applicable, the business may be required to collect and remit sales tax on goods and services. Now it is going to be the GST, right? The other thing I would like to share with you, that is the financial considerations for a sole proprietorship. Financial planning. What do you mean by the planning? Planning is nothing but what to do, where to do, how to do, when to do, why to do. See, here in the financial matters, the planning should be mainly focused on financial matters. So develop a comprehensive, in the sense it is a great plan he has to make, including the budgeting, reporting, financial reporting, cash flow, funds flow, all the things he has to maintain the financial planning, where I need to invest, how much amount I need to incur, all these things. Then record keeping, maintain meticulous financial records, he has to maintain to track the income, expenses, balance sheet, everything. Then funding options, explore potential funding sources, means such as a personal savings, loans and grants, all these things he has to maintain. The transition, if sole proprietorship wants to transition from sole proprietorship partnership, he can do that by adding some more individuals. If wants to transition from sole proprietorship limited liability company, he can form LLC to separate personal liability from his business liability. So corporation, he can also incorporate the business to establish separate legal entity with limited liability. So, and what are the main takeaways and conclusion aspects over this is I mean in a nutshell, what exactly the meaning and the takeaways of this is, it is a simple, straightforward to set up. Unlimited liability, it is a disadvantageous, but to some extent it will be the good. And the financial management tactfully on financial matters, means it is a strong financial planning is a crucial for any business. In fact, if it is a if the sole proprietor is not having good financial management, he is going to face many problems in his own business. And the transition, he can easily transition from sole proprietorship to limited liability company, sole proprietorship to partnership. So this is in nutshell about the sole proprietorship advantages, disadvantages, transitions and financial implications. Thank you one and all for